Record. Right, so let me just sort my screens out here. Friday, we have got, let's have a look here. So today, oh look, they've got rid of, is that correct? They're just moving everything all the bloody time. Yeah, we've got no data today because of obviously the shutdown. So we were supposed to have non-farm payroll. We don't have it anymore. It is making it a little bit easier to trade, and obviously I'll explain why. But obviously we don't have any US data, all right? So everything's anticipation at the moment, all right? US dollar isn't in the best place. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not obviously overly happy with it. Let's just grade our pairs very quickly. You're going to be surprised. So we've obviously got fucking hell. Yen has just risen. Yen at the top. So JPY. There was your euro, which I was looking at about 20 minutes ago, and it's just obviously plummeted. So JPY, and then we've got euro, and we've got NZD, then we've got probably US dollar. It's up there. Oh no, sorry. Above all of these, we've got Swiss. We've then got so AUD, we've got GBP and then CAD at the bottom. GBP and then CAD. Where does AUD sit? AUD sits just above there. So AUD. This is our kind of strength. Euro was at the top. It's currently not. So yeah, that's obviously moved over. We're going to leave that on the DXY chart right there for everyone to obviously have a look at. So let's now have a little bit of a skate through about what we're kind of looking for here. If we were looking to pair anything up, remember, we're kind of trying to hone it in a bit. Oh, so if I just get back onto here and move this down a bit, we're going to have these here, top three against the bottom three. Ideally, this is obviously what we're going to start to have a look at. So, for example, you're at AUD, you're a GBP, you're a CAD. Let's just have a look at these. They've probably flown. Yeah, it's starting to go already. So you're a CAD. Let's have a look at this. I know you're at AUD's gone. That's just absolutely rocketed out of London Open. So EuroCAD we'll break down that one, and let's break down. Let's move this to here like that. Okay, and then yeah, obviously yen pairs. Yen against pound, AUD, and CAD, but yen, AUD, pound. Uh, I'd like to see if I'm honest. I'd like to see this tested here, and then I would like to see on pound. I'd like to see something like this happen. All right, you can see structure. You can see all of this, kind of happening. Let's draw a nice little box here of where we'd kind of be looking for an entry. It would be somewhere around here. All right, so it would be somewhere around here. All right, this would be our entry zone here, and then obviously anywhere within there, taking this down would be a nice little trade here. All right, so that would be one for today. I'm just gonna mark these up. AUD 2, very similar. We want to target this area here. Very similar to that. And then obviously to the downside. Whoops. So something like this. Obviously, we're always monitoring what is happening within this area. All right. We're not just going to enter crazy and think, you know what, yeah, this is the one. But obviously, we want to see probably these areas get targeted here. We're on a nice 30-minute time frame, nice, healthy kind of time frame here. Probably drop this one down a little bit lower. Probably about roughly where it is now, to be honest. Anywhere in this area. Um, we'll just go for 70 pips on all of them. Nice 20 pip stop loss. Yeah, that's obviously what we're kind of looking for here on all of these three, because obviously we are then preparing the strongest against the weakest. Let's just have one more look here. So we've got these here. Swiss, I'm not really interested in right now. Um, Euro, I was looking at Euro USD here. I was looking at it down here. The only thing I don't like, we've obviously got Asia, Asia high here, which Asia high is here. So which we're currently rejecting off. So what would I want to see here? I'd want to see this Asian high break, and then I'd want to see a retest into this area. That would give us a couple of confluences here. All right, that would give us, one that we're obviously trend is continuing to the upside because right now we've technically on a. Let's have a look at this. You could probably class this all as one move if I'm honest. Let's just have a look at our overall kind of move here. I mean, it's not the best trade, so let's actually leave that. What's put me off this? Let's speak about it. One is, our target, if we're continuing with trend, would have to be here. All right, that would mean for us to have a stop loss, we need a 1 to 2 minimum. All right, so we're only targeting 31 pips, and further risk of going against the trend, it's not really worth it. CAD, how was that paired up? That was paired up right at the bottom. That's one of the weakest pairs here. So AUD, GBP, nothing really is catching my eye in regards to that. NZD, we might see another swing, but we technically haven't hit our areas where we would be expecting, but we are starting to swing. Let's just monitor the dollar. Are we going to come down? There's two scenarios here. Are we going to come down into here, or are we going to come down up into here? Oh, let's just get rid of that. Are we going to come up into here? These are our two scenarios here. Yeah. All right. We want to obviously make sure that we are, targeting obviously these areas here. We've gone against yen, euro. Like I said, nothing else really. Euro would be the only one, potentially Swiss. We obviously caught Swiss yesterday. We're trending. We would have this as a target. So if you wanted to be very brave, you could highlight this as a target. How many pips is that to get from there to there? Not very many. Look at that, 22 pips. Plus, we've obviously got the Asian low here. This wouldn't be enough of a risk to reward for me right now. Because obviously we'd have the Asian session here. What I'd probably want to see here, let me just let this person in, is I'd want to see this move here and then us capitalizing from this move. All right, so this here would be the move that we'd want to capitalize off of, and then at least we could get a little bit more out of our trade, potentially come down equal these lows here, and then it's worth it. Yeah, because change would have, trend would have changed. So that's now we'll wait and see obviously what we're doing here. Yen. Yeah, I like these, well, where these pairs are. Let me post these in the group. And then obviously we've got them laid out for everyone to see. But what this is, all the kind of things which I'm speaking about, making sure you really, um, you're really kind of looking it into everything. All right, because you can see my kind of process, and obviously how it all works, and we can, then you can slowly start to implement this in your trading. Where's trend heading? What is actually happening? Do we have a clear direction here of where everything is heading? All these things we obviously need to start to add up and make sure that we really kind of utilize it and make sure that yeah we are yeah staying on top of everything. Just put these in, and then obviously we've got three potential opportunities here. All right, but obviously we need to see that rejection. And this is one thing that I was speaking about, last night. All of these trades, a continuation of trend. We've confirmed trend. We've also got a very nice level of resistance here. We've had our inclination candle. We're just waiting for the pullback. You can even go back onto a 15-minute time frame if you want to. If we do start to see some rejections here, we know that we're going to hop on there. Gold, yeah, there was a lot of accounts blown on gold yesterday. Lots of accounts blown. Um, yeah, because obviously everyone is just in that mindset, that routine. They just want to buy. All right, that they don't want to do anything else. So you obviously there's always going to be that one day where everyone's been doing really, 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 really well. But obviously what we do subconsciously is we take profits off the table, too early. All right, the guys who aren't bothered at all are the guys who have been holding since down here, so they're in huge profit. Um, and they've been taking, partials off. Whereas obviously us, or not everyone, um, but obviously most people will make a small move like this. All right, you'll be really, really happy. Yeah, I've made this one today, and this one today, and this one today. But every day, because you're making money, you're increasing risk. But what ends up happening here? All right, you then go to buy from here. Right, I'm going to duplicate this. You then, once you've done it, you'll then hold this trade all the way down. You'll try and buy from here, you'll try and buy from here. So before you know it, you might have done three or four trades really, really well. You'll be in three or four trades here, but you'll be holding stop loss a lot longer than you hold your TP. So I must have spoken to about 10 people yesterday who blew their account on gold. Well, one thing I will always, say, I'm an advocate of not really trading gold much, because one, I don't need to, and two, look how much gold has pumped, right? No one's blown their accounts up here. They've blown their account here on this little small pull pullback here. All right, the higher the time frame we go, you kind of realize it's not even that bad. No one's blown their accounts all the way up here, but this one little pullback blew so much money. So yeah, just obviously just be aware of it when you're trading it. But in regards to gold right now, we've obviously got this nice level of support here. If we're looking on a 30-minute, there is a nice level of support here. We got another nice level of support here. All right, just be aware. Currently rejected it once. And the trouble is, no one's looking at it, like this. All right, everyone buys on the most weirdest places. The only place that I would understand if anyone tried to buy yesterday would have been from here after this candle. But then I would be we're waiting, at least until here. All right. If this blew straight through, there's no reason to enter anything here. Because you want to be looking again, you want to build this picture, and this gets the gambling mentality out, So CAD JPY, I do like where it is. We obviously had our trend here. We're now testing Asia. We've had one rejection of Asia. Let's just keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar pumping will drag yen pairs up. All right, so just be aware of that. If you are monitoring it, and obviously this is dragging euro down, but we haven't cleared this high here. Now, if we're going to trade pro the dollar, we want to be trading either pound or CAD. All right, because pound, is we know is very, very weak, and also CAD potential, setup here. What I don't like is that, we're obviously at this equal high here, so I don't like where that is right now. So I probably wouldn't trade that GBP USD. Let's have a look here. I mean, we haven't had a very nice pullback here. I'm not going to lie. But you could argue, hourly time frame for those of you, trend is your friend. We obviously broken out, but I think we've missed it because the entry was here. And then obviously stops here, and then obviously a nice 1 to 3. So, don't worry if you've missed a trade. All right, it really does not matter. NZD, GBP CAD, Euro CAD's gone potentially. We've got this level here. Wow, pound is weak. Really, really weak. But I do like this here. All right, yes, like we spoke about yesterday, we've got this trend here. Yeah, we've got this trend which is holding up nicely. All right. So what would I be looking for here as a potential? We've also got this bottom here. I mean, there's two kind of scenarios here. You want to, if this trend is going to continue, we would definitely have this. But obviously, if we're going to break to the upside, this would be where you would be anticipating it potentially to go. All right, because we would obviously have we've got lot of confluences here. One, we're a downtrend. Two, we're trading below the EMA. Three, we're rejecting the parallel channel. Four, we'd have broken this low here, so we're obviously making a new low. There's a lot going for this trade. If we look at this on a daily time frame, there's still room for it to push to the downside here. We've tried to push to the upside. We've rejected. So yeah, there'd be a lot of reasons why you would take this trade. Probably anywhere within this area here would be, nice to enter. So I'm just going to pull this down a little bit more. We don't want such a big stop loss here. There's no point. Potentially here. And then obviously we can pull this over. So this would be one which I would be very, very happy to enter. GBP CAD. There's lots of reasons why. That's obviously one thing that everyone needs to practice. All right, is, do you have reasons, why you're entering a trade? Right? And if you don't, then you need to get them. GBP CAD. There we go. Because, you obviously need to understand, what you are trading, right? And why. So yeah, that's about what we're looking for today. I reckon. I reckon. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be looking for much else. Let's have a look at yen, CAD, anywhere anywhere in this area. Remember, but remember as well, if USD starts to pump, that is going to drag the yen pairs up ever so slightly. So we're obviously going to monitor that overall. But yeah, euro is definitely, still the second strongest. US dollar has now climbed. US dollar would be pretty much up there. So US dollar. will be, so actually yen would still be top. So these guys have already swapped. Yeah. You always gotta be looking around to see what's happening here. All right, and why? So things are obviously constantly changing. Pound is now the weakest behind CAD, so don't look to buy the pound. All right, that writes one trade idea completely off the charts here. Yeah. So that is what you've got to be thinking about all the time. So yeah, we're gonna obviously hold it off here. We're gonna, leave it. Let's wait and see. Euros, starting to go. USD CAD. I mean, it's got potential if this holds that, we obviously might see because CAD is the weakest. Let's just zoom out of this on a daily time frame here. So we would be looking probably this level here. Let's just pull this up. Probably this level here, which is plenty of room here, plenty of room here. Um, but yeah, that is obviously one that I'd be a little bit cautious of because obviously we did have this rejection here. But then again, if you're monitoring overall trend. All right, we've obviously pumped up. If we're highlighting we're in consolidation, we've broken out of it. Could we see a pump to the upside here? All right, let's put this one in as well so that obviously everyone knows what we've been looking at. But obviously, there's plenty of opportunities. And, what I'm trying to teach you all is that, you want to almost what I'm d doing here is putting my short list in, and it just means that, we've, yeah, we're really trying to hone in our concentration and understand what we want to see, where pairs kind of move, and yeah, we'll be all good. So yeah, I'm gonna this here. Everyone give me the thumbs up because I'm gonna post this on stories. So come on, everyone, thumbs up. Yeah, perfect. Appreciate you guys. Nice, nice, nice. Right, everyone have a great afternoon. I'll keep you guys updated. I might do yeah, some kind of a education video. And then yeah, we'll be back trading live at 2. So yeah, enjoy your Friday and yeah, it's gonna be another good day. I can already tell.